This video reveals the secret to unlock prosperity and abundance in your life, regardless of what you're experiencing right now. When I first learned these ideas, I was fresh out of college. I had $50,000 in student loan debt that I wasn't even able to pay on, and I was working a series of rubbish jobs that I did not enjoy, like waiting tables. I was doing customer service, getting yelled at for 20 bucks an hour, and I was even selling cars on the side, and boy, did I not enjoy selling cars. And from that state of being, I was turned on to a series of ideas through some old books, and that helped me change my mindset, which ultimately changed my feelings and ultimately changed my actions. And that, applied for a few years straight, has helped me go on to build a multi-million-dollar business and a lifestyle that offers me the freedom to go camping in the middle of the week, to go have multiple million-dollar homes, to go enjoy paddleboarding and snowboarding and all of those fun things on weekdays when everyone else is stuck in a commuter lifestyle in a cubicle. Okay, so what we're going to end with here is a series of 5 book recommendations that I have for you that I think are must read, must listen, that you need to get through so you can understand these ideas from the people who taught them to me. But first, I'm going to do my best right here and now to give you the basics, the framework, the foundation of this idea so you can right now in this video begin to shift your entire life towards one that is filled with prosperity and abundance. So the first thing that you need to really understand is that prosperity and abundance are states of being. So is sadness, so is lack, so is frustration. Those are all states of being. So what is a state of being? Ultimately, it's comprised of 3 separate things. It's your thoughts, it's your feelings, and it's your actions. It's the things you're doing out in the world. And right now, most people are feeling broke. They're feeling like they don't have enough money. They feel lack, they feel doubt, and they feel fear. And those feelings create more thoughts that are fearful thoughts, that are doubt-based thoughts, that are FOMO-based thoughts, the fear of missing out. And these people get caught up in all these greedy guru scams, and they FOMO into these weird investments that are meme coins, and they're doing all kinds of things that lead them down the path to reinforce the lack that is their reality. So how do you shift yourself if your reality doesn't have a bunch of abundance in it? If your reality isn't filled with prosperity, how do you begin to shift yourself and shift your life? The first place you have to start is with your thoughts. Now, being aware and becoming aware of your dominant thoughts is not actually easy. Some people don't even realize that they're kind of have this internal dialogue with the ego mind at all times during the day. But once you start to realize that you and I and every human being on earth has an ego mind that is ultimately asking questions and guiding us in a very odd way, you can begin to become aware of what that conversation is about, of what those ideas are about. And are those ideas currently like, man, I don't have enough, or man, I really want that, but I can't afford that, or man, I wish I had this, and I wish I had that, but I don't, and boy, my life stinks because I don't have all of these external things that I believe will make me feel better. Well, if you're sitting thinking those thoughts all day, you're going to feel that state of lack. And when you are feeling that state of lack, and when you're thinking those thoughts of lack, your actions in the world are going to be to chase shiny objects, to go jump into greedy guru scams that are enriching others at the expense of you, to FOMO into odd investments and treat investing like gambling, hoping that you get some random lottery ticket with some dog with hat coin thing, hoping that that's your ticket to the lifestyle that you ultimately want. But once you shift your mindset and you understand one of the great truths, and the way that I like to share it is the way I learned it from Zig Ziglar, who is a motivational coach. He's a sales trainer, and he has said that you can have anything you want in this world as long as you help enough other people get what they want. Now, the first thing that you can latch onto when you hear this quote is that you can have anything you want in this world. There's no reason that you can't have anything that you want in this world. And if you ever study the biographies of entrepreneurs, you will find people like Oprah Winfrey, for example, who grew up with all the cards stacked against her, with traumatic abuse experiences in her life. every statistical data point says that that woman should not have created the success that she did, but she went on to create amazing things in her life, and she has created a massive amount of wealth, of prosperity, and abundance in her life. And when you start to see, like, oh my gosh, like people from rough neighborhoods, from rough upbringings, people with dysfunctional upbringings, people with abuse and trauma that they had to deal with have gone on to make millions and millions of dollars and have gone on to create the life of their dreams. I can do that too. So that's that first part of the main phrase that you need to grasp onto, that it is possible for you to have anything and everything that you want in this world. How? If you help enough other people get what they want. So this requires you to do two things. Number one, you got to think about what other people want, and you got to think about how you can help other people. So this gets us into the world of choosing your niche, right? Like, who can you help? And then it's your content strategy or your marketing strategy. What are you going to help them with? And as you start to understand what people want, and as you get good at helping people get what they want, this is creating the content, creating the emails, creating the opt-in pages, creating the sales letters, creating the courses, finding them as an affiliate, and creating the emails that promote those things. When you help those people, actions in the real world, when you help those people get what they want, you earn the cash flow, the income. You get ad revenue from your YouTube videos. You get commissions from your affiliate products. You get the cash flow into your bank account from your shopping cart from selling the products that you want. Again, you can have anything that you want in this world as long as you help enough other people get what they want. So you need to believe that it is possible for you, which I can tell you as someone who was broke with $50,000 in student loan debt. I grew up middle class, on the lower end of that middle class spectrum, and I've broken out to create massive amounts of wealth in my life. It's possible. Anyone could do this. So that's the first part. The second part is you got to figure out who you can help and what you can help them with. And then third, you got to take actions in the physical world to go help those people get what they want. And folks who are stuck in lack, all they're thinking about is themselves. They're thinking about their lack. Oh, I can't make this bill. I don't have enough for this. Man, I don't know what's going on. And they're thinking about themselves. And this is where one of the more interesting things that some folks could do right now, this week, to start to instantly shift their thoughts and their feelings in alignment with more prosperity, is to go start volunteering, to just go help others. If you don't know consciously what niche you can be helpful to, what audience you're going to be of service to, what kind of content you need to create, go find something you can do in your physical world that's just going to help others. And there are community food banks. There's so many things in your community. There's so many ways, the Big Brother, the Big Sister, the YMCA. There's 1,000,001 ways for you to just go help other people in your community. And what that does is it gets your thoughts focused in a new direction. You're going to feel good about yourself when you're helping others, and it really puts you in a vibrational alignment with these core theories and philosophies that ultimately make up that idea of a state of being that is prosperity, a state of being that is abundance. Okay? So again, your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions in the real world are the big key about everything. Now, the biggest and most kind of prolific step that I took on my path to understanding this, to get all my thoughts in the right way, because I grew up thinking rich people all took advantage of somebody. Those people in the McMansions with the 2 BMWs in the driveway, they're rich. Turns out they're broke. They're cash flow, paycheck to paycheck, right? Reading the books and really understanding and learning from the great philosophers and the great teachers of yesteryear. I am not talking about the hipster books that have been created since the year 2000 and beyond. Oh Lord, I don't pay attention to any of those. They're just gurus trying to sell you something on the back end of the book. I'm looking for the folks who wrote books back in the 1900s, the 1910s, the 1930s, the 1940s, who were here to leave a legacy to show you the pathway of how to get your mind straight, to get your heart, your feeling, your vibration straight, and ultimately to get your life and your actions in alignment with that prosperity and abundance that you desire. So book number 1 is by Jim Rohn, and it's called The Day That Turns Your Life Around. Now, we're starting here at this book because I know a lot of you watching this, and I know a lot of viewers of my videos, they're struggling. And you need to realize that change happens in an instant. A lot of people drag this idea around for months or years. I'm going to change. I'm going to make that online business. I've heard it from friends, from family members for almost a decade from some people. Oh yeah, someday I'm going to make it. Oh yeah, I'm going to do that business thing. I'm going to do that online business thing. But they never actually shift And you need to understand how to actually create change, to put that flag in the ground and say, today is the day that everything changes for me. I'm done with this life of lack. I'm done with the struggle. I'm done with the BS that I've been dealing with. I'm done with all the stuff my parents did. I love my parents. I'm so grateful to have been raised by the family I was raised by. My parents are still together. They raised me with love, but they did not get the money game. And I planted my flag one day and said, you know what? I'm figuring out this game. I'm going to do what it takes to create prosperity and abundance in my life. So you need to be able to put that flag in the ground and actually create change. And that's what Jim Rohn covers. Now, this is an audiobook. I don't know if it is in the format of an actual print book. All of the links to these books, some of them are free on YouTube, some of them are on Audible. All of the links will be in the description to make sure you're getting the right ones. But The Day That Turns Your Life Around by Jim Rohn is a fantastic resource for you if you know that you've wanted change, if you've been dragging that idea of change around, if you've been thinking about starting a business online, if you've been thinking about doing things differently for a long time, go through this book. You need to really get some leverage on yourself. And I want to honestly say that Jim Rohn is one of those people that when you finish this book, if you like his style, go through all of his other books. Get an Audible account to where you're paying, $15-16 a month. You get 1 credit per month. Listen to several Jim Rohn books. I also have his The Ultimate Library of Jim Rohn, which covers a lot of his big topics. Personally, I learned about Jim Rohn through network marketing. When I used to be involved in the MLM and network marketing industry, thinking that was the secret and the shortcut to my success. It wasn't for me. Maybe it works for some people. I don't know. Trying to pitch my friends and family and get three to get three to get three. That is just not my alignment with the prosperity and abundance. But what I learned in those years of doing network marketing is I learned how vital personal development is on my path and your path as someone going from growing up in an employee-based household where everybody just looks to the corporation. They look to these external things for the source of supply, to shifting and realizing that, as an entrepreneur, I have a different source of supply. I need to tap into a higher source of supply. I need to tap into something different than nobody I've ever known has tapped into, which means I actually have to completely rewire my brain with new thoughts, new ideas. And Jim Rohn, the world of personal development have been huge on my plate. So if you've been dragging around the idea of change, if you know you've wanted to change, you're not doing what you know you need to do, and you're like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur someday, but you're not doing the things that entrepreneurs do, please start there. Go through The Day That Turns Your Life Around by Jim Rohn. Number 2 is a book that's going back. I think it was written in the late 1800s. It might have been published like really, really early 1900s. So this book is over 100 years old, and it is The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. Now, the cool thing about this being a really old book is that it's available free. You can get it on Gutenberg. If you want a print book, you can get the print book for like $5, but there's also audio versions of this book on YouTube as well that you can listen to because it's in the public domain. Now, about 10 years ago or so, there was a marketing product out there called The Secret DVD. Ultimately, this secret DVD was all about the law of attraction. And when you realize if you do enough digging, you will come to realize that everything that book is about actually comes from this original document from Wallace Wattles that is The Science of Getting Rich. And what it does is it helps you understand in maybe more of a spiritual dimension how quantum physics works, how this universe that we live in is receptive to your thoughts, it's receptive to your vibrations, and this universe has the ability to align you with the ideas, the people, the resources, the tools, everything and anything that you need to accomplish your goals, to achieve that prosperity that you desire, that abundance that you desire. Everything can actually show up for you in that right timing when you understand how to work with these spiritual laws of the universe. Now, with it being a 100-year-old book, the language patterning, right, the words they use, the prose that they wrote with is a little old and outdated. I kind of think it's a little bit fun to listen to. I like hearing that style, but just you got to understand the core of where this all comes from, because when you realize that you actually can impress your ideas, you can impress your desires upon this universe, and the universe itself begins to reorganize itself in a way to help you align with your desires, Wow, that is a very powerful level of understanding. And when you understand that, when your thoughts really truly believe that, you're going to feel like, I am supported by this universe. I have access to everything that I need, and it's going to get you to take actions from a different standpoint. And ultimately, that's going to kind of rearrange your lifestyle in the direction of what you want. This is how you shift from lack to prosperity, starting no matter what your bank account looks like right now, no matter what your day job or your lack of job looks like right now, no matter whether your business is cranking or your business isn't even started yet, you can begin to make this change, and the universe is listening and it's receptive and it's picking up on that change that you start to make right now from your internal state of being. And I want to go as far as saying that quantum physics proves this, okay? So as science got better in the 75, 80 years after writing this book, we now have actual scientific studies that show through quantum physics that the observer, right, when the observer of an actual scientific experiment observed that experiment with an expectation, the experiment results actually changed. For example, is it a wavelength or a particle? If you zoom in on anything, any matter in this universe, if you zoom in on it enough, you're going to find out with an electron microscope that everything is just wavelengths of energy. At some point, you zoom in enough and you see that there's like a molecule and there's electrons kind of floating around, fluttering around, popping in and out of existence, and everything is ultimately some sort of a wavelength of energy. But when scientists went to measure this wavelength, it turned into a particle. But when scientists weren't in the room trying to measure it and they just let the apparatus do the measuring, it was a wavelength or a field of infinite potential. And quantum physics, if you want to go down that rabbit hole, there is a DVD from like the late 90s called What the Bleep Do We Know that really goes into this. But quantum physics proves that you, the observer, and what you think and what you expect to happen in this world literally affects and changes the physical world. And I really personally appreciate deeply how Wallace Wattles covers this in The Science of Getting Rich. It's also a super short book. I think it's like 2 hours. So it's one that I've personally gone through at least a dozen times. Why? Because I got to get my head on straight, right? Because I grew up thinking there's not enough month at the end of the money. Money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people all stole from somebody to get rich, right? Rich people are bad. And like, if I think rich people are bad, am I ever going to allow myself to become rich? Like, no, that would mean I'd become bad, but I'm a good person. Therefore, I can't be rich. No, dangerous, dangerous thoughts. So I had to rewire all of these old, disempowering thoughts that reinforced a state of lack in my life up until my mid-20s. I had to rewire those and install a new operating system that was more empowering to help me realize that I can affect the world, and as I help enough other people get what they want, I can get anything that I want. And as I start to go look around for things that people want and look around for ways that I can possibly help people, the universe actually begins to give me the circumstances, the coincidences, the inspired ideas, the intuitive nudges that I need to say, Miles, go make that YouTube video. You know, I think I'm gonna make a YouTube video. In fact, I'm gonna make a YouTube video every day for the next 90 days. And here we are like 8 years after that. And I've made 800 videos and I made over $1 million with this YouTube channel, right? And those ideas are the kinds of things that pop into existence when we get this going in the right direction. So number 2 is The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. I think it's a fantastic book. Everyone must read it. It is, you'll notice, I think the entire new age world is essentially just biting off of this guy's bit. And I like to go to the original source of where all of this comes from, because I feel like just the eloquence, the succinctness, how simple it actually is. But boy, when I applied it to my life, I've been able to do things that no one in my family has ever, no one in my bloodline, no one in my wife's family, nobody's been able to accomplish what we've been able to accomplish, because nobody took time to get their head on straight, to get it all these thoughts focused in the right way, to start feeling like it's all possible, to then take all those actions to create wealth and prosperity in abundance. Number 3 is a book called You Too Can Be Prosperous. This is by Robert Russell. He was actually a prophetic author. There's like a part 2 to this book. He's got all kinds of content out there, but I really think that this You Too Can Be Prosperous is one of the best summations of these same types of ideas. Now, he takes a little bit more of a biblical slant with this. Now, I didn't grow up religious. I've never read the Bible. I was agnostic at parts of my life. I was baptized Lutheran, but we never really went to church. So when I started to realize how some of the texts of the Bible and some of the teachings of the Bible are right in line with the same thing that the New Thought movement people are talking about, the same thing that's in alignment with the law of attraction, it's just another data point to me that says for centuries, people have understood this, and maybe somehow there are these mechanisms of control that are designed to keep you stuck in lack. So you just keep eating that feeder bar, you keep going to that day job. The people at the top who get this stuff earn all of the outsized rewards while your life energy is drained for their profits because they get this stuff and you don't. And another one of those books that helped me really, really open my mind and open my understanding to how this all works is You Too Can Be Prosperous. Another relatively short book. It is available on YouTube. It's also available on Audible, and it's one that I've gone through at least a dozen times. I mean, when I say I've been through this a dozen times, I've probably been through The Science of Getting Rich with Wallace Wattles probably 50 plus times. It's one of those things I just listen to this stuff on repeat while I'm making coffee, while I'm doing dishes. I want to really rewire my brain and my thoughts into a level of belief with this stuff, and repetition is the number one way for me to do that. Number 4 is Grow Rich with Peace of Mind by Napoleon Hill. Now, you've probably heard of other people recommend Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, which I think is a good book. It's a little lengthy in its style, but what I really like is that this book, the Grow Rich with Peace of Mind by Napoleon Hill, was written at the end of his career, whereas Think and Grow Rich was like the first thing that he put together when he was challenged by the wealthiest man in the world at that time to go study how wealth works, so he could put a manual together how anyone could create wealth and riches in their life. Think and Grow Rich was that book. I think it's worth reading. I've been through Think and Grow Rich 8, 9, 10 times. I don't even know. It's one of those books that an investor gave me, and I've listened to it over and over and over and over again. I do a lot of road trips, and when I'm on road trips, I listen to these kinds of books. But Grow Rich with Peace of Mind has some modesty built into it. It has some realism built into it, because what Napoleon Hill did in his life after he understood these things with Think and Grow Rich is he ended up buying this gigantic home. He had multiple Rolls Royces. He began to live lavishly, and he began to live outside of his means. And what you might learn about Napoleon Hill, he almost died flat broke. And the only reason he didn't die flat broke is because I believe it's W. Clement Stone, who ran an insurance agency, actually put him on the payroll at the end of his life to just coach his insurance salespeople. So these thoughts, these ideas, this world of prosperity and abundance can get some people out over their skis. And you see it sometimes. Some of these gurus, they go out and they buy millions of dollars worth of cars and dozens of millions of dollars worth of real estate, and they get that treadmill turned up that they have to sell another course. They have to sell another thing. And at this point, their intentions get a little out of alignment with what's in the best, greatest service for their audience. And if we go back to that main quote, you can have anything you want in this world if you help enough other people get what they want, they stop focusing on helping other people get what they want, and they start getting for themselves. And when we try to get from the universe, when we try to take from this world, when we try to hoard riches from this world for personally gratifying things, you will find that the universe finds ways to take from us. And Napoleon Hill experienced that distinctly throughout his life. So the last book that he wrote, that very few people know about, surprisingly, I've read this one several times, Grow Rich with Peace of Mind, it takes those core ideas that he taught in Think and Grow Rich, but it runs them through that lens of the opulent lifestyle that he was living at some point in time, and it really helped reinforce the why behind living a reasonable life within one's means instead of perpetually turning up the treadmill. Oh, I got more money coming in from my online business. Let me go buy that new Tesla. Oh, I got more money coming in. Let me go buy that new thing. I got more money coming in. Buy that new thing. One shift in the economy, one shift in user behavior, it all goes kaput. And this is why and how so many entrepreneurs end up going bankrupt within their life, which is just not something that's in alignment with where I'm at, my state of vibration or my thought pattern. And why is because I understand the risks involved with this. How do I understand that? It's through books like these. It's through reading the biographies. And then number 5 is The Abundance Book by John Randolph Price. Now, I've talked about this in another video where I did have a book list, but I'm mentioning it again because this is a tiny book. It's like this big, and honestly, I've given away all of my copies. I keep buying more copies, and I give them to friends who are personal friends who want to change their life and who want to kind of live more of a lifestyle like Melanie and I live. This is the book that I hand to each and every one of them. It's tiny. You could read the whole thing cover to cover in like an hour, hour 20. But the cool part is he recorded an audiobook of this, and he also has a meditation of this. And I will put both of those in the description as well. And I just want to cover 2 last things before I let you go. Number 1, you can have anything that you want in this world if you help enough other people get what they want. That's what all my other videos are here for, to help you figure out what's your niche, right? Search Miles Beckler, how to find a niche online. You'll find it. Search Miles Beckler, how to make 10 grand a month online. You'll find it. So that's the first key, is that you need to figure out how you can go help other people get what they want. And when you get good at helping others get what they want, you will find that the cash flow, that the prosperity, that the abundance, that the wealth, that the riches flood to you in a way that still, for me personally, I mean, it is mind-boggling. I'm still earning so much more than I ever thought was possible. And I'm only working 3-4 hours per week at this point in time. And I mean, tens of thousands of dollars per week, each and every week, whether I'm working or playing or camping or road tripping. This stuff works. You can have anything you want in this world if you help enough other people get what they want. And then number 2 is that you got to get your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions all in alignment. And the best way for you to get your thoughts going, and that's going to help you feel better, is by going through these books. I think you should listen to these books over and over and over again. Find one of the authors, find one of the books, find one of them that really resonates with you, and listen to it until you can practically regurgitate the thing. That's when you know your subconscious mind has taken this on. It's one thing to read a book or listen to a book and be like, oh yeah, I know that stuff. It's another thing to go through it over and over and over again, and the neuroplasticity in your mind, your brain literally rewires itself to believe that. And when you rewire yourself to believe that you can have anything that you want in this world, that you can help other people get what they want, that is when you start to really take those actions confidently. That's how we get out of lack and doubt and fear and looking for these lottery tickets and these greedy guru pitches and these MLM schemes and these dog coins and these whatever meme coins people are trading. People get out of this like lottery, oh, I hope I can get rich with this. And you realize, no. There's a proven process. I need to upgrade my mindset. I need to upgrade my state of being. And I need to go upgrade my actions to be of greater service in this world. And when you align with that greater service, that thing that you are here to bring through you in this world, you will be amazed at what comes out. I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope you go through these books. Each one of the books is linked in the description below. Leave me a comment, leave me a question. I look forward to connecting with you on this video, and I look forward to connecting with you on the next video. Thank you very much for your time. Give me a thumbs up, like it, subscribe, do what you do, and I'm gonna do what I do, and I'll see you on the next video. Till then, be well.